Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsaf Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. We begin with updates from the Israel-Hamas war. The Israel-Hamas war marked the grim 100-day milestone yesterday. Thousands have died ever since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th last year. The Israeli army retaliated with its ground offensive in Gaza that has now killed more than 24,000 Palestinians. Israel's attacks on Gaza continued on the 100th day of the war. According to Gazan authorities, 125 Palestinians were killed and over 265 wounded over the last day. Meanwhile, in Tel Aviv, Israelis united to call for the release of hostages who are still being held by Hamas. Hamas aired a video showing 3 Israeli hostages it is holding in Gaza, threatening to kill them. The hostages urged Israel to stop its offensive against Hamas and bring about their release. The video ended with a caption, and I quote, "Tomorrow we will inform you of their fate." During the October 7th attack, Hamas captured about 240 people and has been holding them hostage. Around 100 of the hostages were released during a temporary ceasefire in November. Israel's army said that it struck Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. The army has published videos of the purported strikes. This came after Hezbollah launched an anti-tank missile at northern Israel, killing a 76-year-old woman and her son. Hezbollah has called the US and UK strikes on Yemen's Houthi rebel group, quote-unquote, an act of stupidity. Hezbollah leader Syed Nasrallah has said that the attacks have jeopardized all shipping along the Red Sea route. Last week, the US and UK militaries launched attacks on Houthi bases in Yemen amid tensions in the Red Sea. Since November, the Iran-backed Houthis have been targeting vessels on the key trade route. Israeli cabinet ministers kicked off a session on the 2024 budget yesterday. They seek to approve an amendment to cater to the country's increasing spending during the war on Hamas. Last year, Israel approved a 2-year budget for 2023 and 2024. However, the war now requires budget changes and additional spending. On to other top news, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has dismissed Taiwan's election results. He said that the result of Taiwan's election cannot change the fact that Taiwan is a part of China. Wang Yi went on to threaten that Taiwan's pursuit of independence will be, quote-unquote, severely punished. On Saturday, Taiwanese voters elected pro-sovereignty candidate Lai Ching-te as their new president. According to demographers, China's population is likely to decline for a second consecutive year. They expect the number of new births in 2023 to fall below 2022's numbers. In 2022, China's population fell for the first time in 6 decades. China's decline in population comes after COVID-related deaths and a rapidly aging demographic. North Korea tested a new solid-fuel hypersonic missile yesterday. Japan has said that North Korea may carry out further provocations. This comes amid rising tensions in the Korean peninsula. Last year, Pyongyang launched its first-ever spy satellite, followed by a series of intercontinental ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, North Korean Foreign Minister Choe Son Hui is in Russia this week. She landed in Moscow yesterday. Her visit is expected to last till Wednesday. During her visit, Choe will hold talks with her Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. Their meeting comes at a time when the US and its allies have accused Russia of firing North Korean-made missiles at Ukraine. Turkey has reportedly struck 24 targets in Syria belonging to Kurdish militants. The targets included checkpoints, armories and other structures used by the Kurdish groups. The attacks came in retaliation for Turkish soldiers killed in Iraq. Last week, 9 Turkish soldiers were killed in a clash with members of the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party or PKK. US lawmakers unveiled a short-term spending bill yesterday. This was to avert a partial government shutdown and keep federal agencies operating until March. The agreement bought more time to craft a spending legislation that funds government activity. Funding for some federal agencies was set to expire on January 19th. The Latin American nation of Ecuador is still grappling with persistent violence. Authorities arrested 6 suspects, including a 17-year-old, following an explosive attack against police facilities in the largest city of Guayaquil. Ecuador's police and military are struggling to restore order inside the country's dangerous prisons. At one of the prisons, dozens of staff had to be rescued after they were taken hostage by inmates. In climate news, a group of climate protesters in the U.S. state of Iowa interrupted Donald Trump's presidential campaign speech. The incident happened yesterday. The protesters waved posters calling Trump a climate criminal. The demonstrators were then escorted out. The ongoing winter storm in the U.S. is causing travel disruptions across the country. Over 1,500 flights have been cancelled and 7,500 have been delayed because of the storm. The U.S. National Weather Service predicts that the storm will last through the middle of this week. The air quality in India's capital, New Delhi, turned severe with an air quality index of 458. Authorities have imposed several restrictions to manage the situation. A ban has been announced on some older petrol and diesel vehicles. Along with this, construction operations and mining activities have been stopped. Heavy rain has battered parts of southeastern Brazil. Over 2 people were reported dead in Sao Paulo state. The rain caused trees to fall, flooded streets, and led to power outages. Meanwhile, in Brazil's Rio de Janeiro state, heavy rains caused the death of 11 people. Rio's mayor announced a state of emergency. Hundreds have been evacuated due to heavy flooding. A deadly mudslide in northwest Colombia has killed over 33 people. 10 have been reported missing and over 20 are injured. Colombia's president declared the mudslide site an emergency zone. Rescue operations are underway. A volcano erupted in southwest Iceland yesterday. The molten lava destroyed a few houses in the town of Grindavik. Iceland's Prime Minister called it a very serious situation. However, no casualties were reported as the nearby areas had already been evacuated. Meanwhile, Mount Merapi on Indonesia's Sumatra island erupted twice yesterday. The eruptions prompted over 150 people to leave their houses. Volcanic ash covered houses, vehicles and vegetation in areas around the volcano. Local authorities built shelters for the people who evacuated their houses. On to business and tech news. The U.S. aviation regulator has extended the grounding of Boeing 737 MAX 9 airplanes indefinitely. It will also tighten oversight of Boeing itself. This comes after a door panel broke off a new jet mid-flight earlier this month. The new grounding orders severely threaten Boeing's business. The European Commission will reportedly investigate some Chinese electric vehicle makers in the coming weeks. This includes automakers like BYD and Geely. The probe seeks to determine if cheaper Chinese-made EVs benefit unfairly from state subsidies. Following this, the authorities will decide whether to impose tariffs to protect European EV makers. Chinese electric car maker BYD has reportedly held talks with Brazil's Sigma Lithium. This is for a possible supply agreement, joint venture or acquisition of the lithium producer. Last month, BYD's Brazil head met with Sigma's chief executive, but back then, he did not provide details of their meeting. Lucid Group is recalling more than 2,000 units of its Air luxury electric sedan. This is for a potential fault in high-voltage coolant heaters. These are responsible for supplying warm air to heat the cabin and defrosting. A fault in the part could obstruct the driver's vision, leading to a potential accident. The recalled units include Lucid Air sedans produced in 2022 and 2023. US retailer Target is reportedly experiencing some disruptions of shipments from India and Pakistan. This is due to the crisis in the Red Sea. Attacks on vessels in the Red Sea by the Iran-backed Houthi rebel group have disrupted trade on the route. Target receives garments, toys and bath products, among other things, from suppliers in India and Pakistan. Shein is reportedly seeking Beijing's nod to file for an initial public offering or IPO in the US. The move could further complicate the company's listing plans, which already face headwinds in America. US lawmakers have called on the country's markets regulator to block Shein's IPO until the company verifies it does not use forced labor. Morgan Stanley has agreed to pay about $250 million to US authorities. This is to end years-long criminal and civil investigations into block trading. A block trade is a high-volume transaction that can affect stock prices because of their size. The settlement resolves charges of deception, fraud, and compliance failure against Morgan Stanley. Universal Music Group will lay off some employees in 2024. The company will likely cut hundreds of jobs in the first quarter. However, it has not given an exact number. According to a report, the job cuts will mostly affect UMG's recorded music division. Apple is reportedly shutting a 121-person team related to artificial intelligence in the US. This puts many of the employees at the risk of termination. The group will relocate from San Diego to Austin. Apple has told employees that they have until the end of February to decide if they will relocate. The workers who do not relocate will be terminated on April 26th. According to an analysis by the International Monetary Fund, artificial intelligence will affect almost 40% of global jobs. The analysis says that advanced economies face greater risk than emerging markets and low-income countries. The study added that AI will also likely worsen overall income inequality. Moving to sports. In cricket, India is on the verge of giving Afghanistan a whitewash in the ongoing T20 international series. Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shivam Dube both smashed half-centuries as India hammered Afghanistan by 6 wickets in the second T20 match in Indore yesterday. The duo helped India chase down Afghanistan's 172 by the 16th over. With the win, India have already clinched the 3-match T20 series 2-0. New Zealand skipper Kane Williamson retired mid-match due to an injury while he was batting in the second T20 match against Pakistan. Kane Williamson scored 26 of 15 before retiring hurt. New Zealand's cricket officials said, and I quote, "Williamson experienced tightness in his hamstring while completing a run in the 10th over." Tim Southey captained the side for the rest of the game. In football, the first El Clasico of 2024 ended in a lopsided match. The Spanish Super Cup final was played in Saudi Arabia yesterday. Real Madrid demolished Barcelona 4-1. Winger Vinicius Jr. found the back of the net for Real Madrid thrice in just 39 minutes. Barca's only goal came from Robert Lewandowski. Defender Ronald Araujo was sent off, adding to Barca's misery. Rodrigo struck Real's fourth from a rebound in the 64th minute to win the Spanish Super Cup. The AFC Asian Cup started on a bitter note for India, who were handed a 2-0 defeat by Australia in their Group B opener on Saturday. The first half saw Sunil Chhetri and his men putting in a solid shift with no goals from either side. But Australia struck twice in the second half via Jackson Irvine and substitute Jordan Boss. India's next match is against Uzbekistan on the 18th of January. In tennis, the Australian Open 2024 kicked off this weekend at Melbourne Park. Men's world number 1 Novak Djokovic began his bid for a 25th Grand Slam with a nail-biter against Croatian teen Dimo Prismic. Djokovic took 4 hours to beat the 18-year-old 6-2, 7-6, 6-3, 6-4. It was the longest first-round Grand Slam match of his career. Over in the women's draw, world number 2 Aryna Sabalenka opened her title defense with an easy win. She shrugged off Ella Seidel of Germany with a 6-0, 6-1 victory in straight sets. Sabalenka struck 6 aces and won 80% of her first serve points. The match lasted for just over 50 minutes at the Rod Laver Arena yesterday. In hockey, India's hopes of making it to the Paris Olympics this year remain alive. The Indian women's team defeated New Zealand 3-1 in their first match at the FIH Women's Olympic Qualifier in the Indian city of Ranchi. Sangeeta Kumari, Udita Duhan and Beauty Dungung scored for the hosts. India will play Italy next in their final pool match on Tuesday. In badminton, world number 2 Indian duo Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty missed clinching the Malaysia Open Super 1000 title with a narrow loss. Satvik and Chirag secured a 21-9 win in the first set, but faltered 18-21, 17-21 to their Chinese opponents in the men's doubles final. The Indian duo will next be in action at the India Open Super 750 tournament starting in New Delhi on Tuesday. In chess, world number 1 Magnus Carlsen withdrew from the Candidates Tournament 2024. He had previously stated his reluctance to participate in the event. However, the formal letter of decline was received by the International Governing Body of Chess on January 13th. According to the rules, Carlsen's vacant spot will now go to the next highest finisher in the 2023 FIDE World Cup. Kenyan runner Agnes Nyetich broke the 10-kilometer world record, becoming the first woman to run the distance in under 29 minutes. Nyetich clocked a time of 28 minutes and 46 seconds, smashing a record set 2 years ago by Yalamzerf Yehuolo, a runner from Ethiopia. In entertainment news, the Hollywood awards season is in full swing. The red carpet of the Critics' Choice Awards rolled out yesterday. Here are the highlights. Oppenheimer won a total of 8 awards, including Best Picture, Best Director and Best Supporting Actor. Barbie got 6 awards, including Best Original Screenplay and Best Song. Paul Giamatti won the Best Actor award for The Holdovers. Emma Stone won the Best Actress for Poor Things. The Bear and Beef won 4 awards each in the television categories. The Bear won Best Comedy Series, while Beef took home Best Limited Series. The Best Drama Series award was given to Succession, with Kieran Culkin and Sarah Snook bagging the Best Actor and Actress award for the same show. Actor Timothée Chalamet's Wonka has achieved a new milestone at the box office. After spending over 5 weeks on the big screen, Wonka's global tally now stands at $505.3 million. According to reports, Warner Brothers spent approximately $125 million on its production. According to reports, the newly released Mean Girls musical has earned over $28 million at the US box office. The film has been adapted from the Broadway musical and Tina Fey's 2004 film of the same name. The movie released on the 12th of January this year. Singer Dua Lipa revealed in an interview that before her song's release, she keeps them with herself for quite a long time, until she feels that they are ready to go out. Dua Lipa also said that she feels scared sometimes, thinking about the audience's reaction. According to reports, David O. Russell will direct the upcoming biopic about the American music icon Linda Ronstadt. Russell is known for directing films like Three Kings, Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle. Singer-actor Selena Gomez has reportedly been roped in to play the lead role of Linda Ronstadt. The film is in its pre-production phase. Actor Kit Harington revealed in a podcast that the instant fame from the Game of Thrones TV series was overwhelming for him. He was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. The actor was also admitted in a rehab facility in 2019 to battle alcoholism. Harington plays the role of Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. Actor Neve Campbell has expressed her wish to return to the Scream franchise. She said in an interview that if the circumstances are right, then she will be open to it. This comes after Campbell left the franchise in 2022 over a salary dispute. Actor Rachel Brosnahan, who will be starring in the upcoming Superman Legacy film, says the actors have big shoes to fill, but they are all excited. She stated in an interview that the cast and crew members are nerds about the film. Superman Legacy is scheduled for a 2025 release. Actor Alec Musser has passed away at the age of 50. His fiancée Paige Press confirmed the news of his passing. Musser was known for his roles in All My Children and Desperate Housewives. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.